Hello, everybody. It is, let's see, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right on the dot. So if you're here for the Pinterest Manager training, you are in the right spot. And I am so excited for all of you to join me tonight. I would love for you to get acclimated to the chat. So go ahead, drop in the chat where you're from and what you currently do, because throughout this training tonight, it's going to be interactive. So I'm going to be asking you questions. I want you to share your feedback. I can't wait to hear more in the chat where you're from, like I said, what you currently do, and just to get your feedback, because the whole purpose of this training tonight is to help you decide if becoming a Pinterest manager is a good fit for you. So I believe in order for us to make a decision that's right for us and to make a decision from a place of clarity, we need to have all of the information necessary. So if you're like, what is the Pinterest manager? Who hires them? What is this all about? All of those things are going to be broken down tonight. And I've had a lot of people message me on Instagram. I'm so excited to read through those messages. I'm currently trying to catch up, but a lot of people are like, what is this? How do I get started? And that's what I'm going to break down during this training tonight, because there is a lot of information I want to share. I'm just going to say this now. I'm going to jump over to my slides in just a minute, but this is going to last around 90 minutes. And I know that that sounds like a long time. However, this is something that I've been doing for 5.5 years. And so I am going to try to give you as much information as possible so that you can learn how to get started and the next steps to take if you want to work with me personally. So, like I said, it is going to be about 90 minutes. I would love for you to stay until the end because I have really helpful information I want to share. Like I said, if you do want to get started, the next steps. So let's go ahead. I'm going to check out the chat and then I'm going to share my slides with you. I do have slides. So if you have a notepad, if you're taking notes, if you have, want to take notes in your phone, I will say try to eliminate distractions as much as possible. I have so much information to share with you, but the best kind where it's gonna, really help you decide if this is gonna be a good fit. So let's see here. I will ask everybody just to leave yourself on mute kindly, just to cut background noise. Katie from Wisconsin, welcome, Katie. Currently a reading teacher. Awesome. Misty, Texas housewife. I love it. Lily, Colorado, stay-at-home mom. Hi, Stephanie. I'm Stephanie, a teacher from Toronto, Canada. Very cool. Fun fact, in my Pinterest Manager Academy, I have students from Romania, South Africa, Canada, United States. So I just want to share, this is something that you can literally do all over the world, which is amazing. Let's see, elementary teacher from Texas, Kelsey, Columbus, Ohio, preschool teacher. Hello, from Minnesota, business owner. I'm a teacher from Northern PA. Hi, Kaylee. Lindsay, California teacher. Alicia, Minnesota, elementary teacher. Hannah from Oklahoma, compliance accountant. Very cool. So I am so excited to see you all here. Hi, Kristen, speech language pathologist. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Brittany. Okay. Because, Courtney, Indiana, but teacher in Kentucky. Very cool. For those of you that don't know, I'm in Indiana. I live in a suburb outside of Indianapolis. Okay, so we're going to get started. It's now 8:03 Eastern time. I think some of you are in Central. We also have people in Canada. I'm not sure what time it is for you there. But what I want you to do, I would love, Tony. Hey, Tony, we will be given a copy of this recording. I will send out an email and it will be a limited time replay. So it won't be like you can watch it forever. But during probably like the next like 48 to 72 hours, I will send out that recording and you can watch that. So, yes, you're so welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to need from you, I would love for all of you to let me know kindly in the chat. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen in just 1 minute. There have been times where, tech happens and I have let's see here. Let me get all my videos back up here. I'm going to pin my video so that you can see me as I'm talking and then make everybody else. Okay, let me know if you can see my slides. There have been once upon a time where I continued to talk and talk and talk, and what I was saying was not matching the slides. So there was like a lag or I needed to refresh my computer. So if you can see this cover slide here, this is how to make 5K monthly as a Pinterest manager. Give me a thumbs up, a yes, got it, whatever you can in the chat and let me know. I can see it. Thank you, Ashley. And Alicia says, I see it. I see it. Thank you, Lily. Okay, awesome. You guys rock. Okay, so we're going to get started here. I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, yep, me too. And I'll try to kind of do checks throughout to make sure we're on the same page here. But you are going to learn how to make 5K monthly as a Pinterest manager. And I just want to say, spoiler alert, you can actually make much more than 5K. So let's get into it. The teacher in me can't help but start with the end in mind. So I really want to share with you what you're going to learn and walk away from this training with tonight. Okay, so we're here because we want a full-time income, 5K and probably more than that because life is expensive, right? But the beauty of it is it doesn't have to be full-time hours, okay? So, like I said, the teacher in me is going to start with the end in mind. So let's talk about what you're going to walk away with. You're going to learn why Pinterest management is a must for you now, even if you're feeling a little apprehensive about your current skill set and maybe it has nothing to do with business or marketing or anything like it, right? Uh, you're going to discover what you'll do as a Pinterest manager. You're going to see this theme of me trying to give you information so that you can get clarity. I don't want this to be something ambiguous or that you don't understand. I want this to be crystal clear because I don't think that this is for everybody. I think that you need more information so that you can decide if there's alignment there for you. I truly think that in order for anybody to be successful with business, there has to be this alignment where it feels right to us and we're excited about it. And that's not to say there won't be challenges, but what helps you overcome challenges and learning something new is knowing that you're excited, it feels right to you, and you know it's the path you want to be on. Okay. We're going to talk about how to find clients and put yourself out there so that you can start making money now. I have an academy where I'm training my students, and what is so incredible is some of them get clients within 2 to 3 weeks. Some of them, it takes 4 to 6 weeks. Some of them, it takes a couple of months. My student Gwendolyn, she enrolled in the academy in April of 2024, and it took her until July of 2024 to get her first client. But now she has 5 clients and she just kind of took off. But it took her some time. And one thing I can say is that she consistently showed up. She had an amazing attitude and she knew that this would work for her and that her effort wasn't for nothing, right? So her timeline looked different than some of my other students who got a client in a month. But the thing that you have to approach this with if you do decide to start your Pinterest management business is it will work for you, but we have to release some of those things that we become attached to, such as those timelines. Like, I have to get a client in 30 days. Yes, that would be great, but you have to know that this will work. But we have to let go of some of those expectations because it does take time to start a business. We're going to talk about the mindset piece because this is huge. And I actually polled my academy students and I asked them, what was one of the most impactful things about the academy? And they said the coaching and the support because that really plays a role in the mindset. And I truly think that one of the most challenging things is overcoming the mindset obstacles and like the imposter syndrome and who am I to do this? We have to overcome those things in order to be successful. It's like we got to get out of our own way sometimes, right? So I'm going to do a little check system here. And I want you to ask yourself, am I in the right place? Because I want to say your time is precious. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. If this is not right for you, if you don't feel like you're in the right place, that's okay. You don't have to stay here. I want to respect your time. Okay. So I'm going to mention a few things and I want you to ask yourself, am I in the right place? You're in the right place if you want to change careers and have more freedom and flexibility. Now, I will say, my student Emily, she is currently a teacher. She has 3 kids. She is teaching full time and she has 5 clients. She's literally making an additional $2,000 a month. She doesn't want to take on any more clients because she's teaching full time and she doesn't have the capacity. She also doesn't want to leave her teaching job. I will say most of my academy students are starting this because they either are stay at home and they want another source of income, or they do want to, eventually transition out of their current job. But I do want to say, I do have some students who want to stay in their job and they just want this for an additional extra $2,000 because that's not too shabby, right? So I just want to say, that could be a possibility as well. You're in the right place if you want to spend less time working, but want to make a full-time income and comfortably support your family. You're in the right place if you want a career that really has no ceiling in regards to the growth and potential. I'm going to share her testimonial in a minute, but my student Annie, she enrolled in the academy in February of 2024. She just shared in our coaching channel today. She officially is over $5,000 a month as a Pinterest manager. It's literally not even been a calendar year. Think about the potential she has in the next 1 year or 2 years if she did that in like 11 months. That's incredible, right? You're in the right place if you're serious about taking action and investing in yourself. So now on the flip side, you're not in the right place. And I just want to share this disclaimer that some of the things I'm going to share here tonight might sound harsh. And I know that it's weird for somebody to say that, like, oh, you're going to be harsh, but it might sound harsh, but I want you to know everything I say tonight is from a place of like, I love helping people. I am a teacher. I don't teach kids anymore. Now I'm educating adults and teaching them how to start their Pinterest management business. But I want to set people up for success. And I'm going to be direct and kind of blunt about things because I think a lot of people sugarcoat what is required in order to start a successful business. This isn't passive income. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to have skills training. You need to learn step by step what it does require, and you will be successful if you want to do this and you give it your all. But this isn't something that's overnight easy, it's not like that. So if you're looking to get rich quick, then you're not in the right place. And like I said, I'd rather just respect your time and be fully transparent about that. You're not in the right place if you don't see your time as your most valuable commodity. Money comes and money goes. There is always more money to be made. We can never get our time back. Nobody has invented a way to make more time, right? So that's really, how I view that. You're not in the right place if you're going to be mad at me spending 90 minutes of my time teaching you how to get started on your own or the opportunity for me to be your mentor. I'm just going to say it. I have an academy. It is a coaching program. It's not your average course or anything like that. It is a coaching program. It's high level. You are getting my daily support. There's nothing else like it. I can guarantee that. So I just wanted to mention that. I will share more about that at the end. I do want to say, if you have no interest in being coached by me, totally fine. You are still going to get 90 minutes of tons of helpful information so that you can decide if this is for you. Okay, so you are not in the right place if you're looking for instant gratification rather than building a sustainable business. And this business could be an amazing asset for you. But you have to know Rome wasn't built in a day, and your business isn't going to be built in a day either. We're always seeing people's highlight reel, but people don't always share the part that's not so glamorous, like the days, the weeks, the months, the hours that they were putting in building that business. They just kind of show you the highlight reel of how they got to 6 figures or, 7 figures. And so I just want to say that, I just want to set you up for success and be realistic about what this takes. So I do want you to stay until the end because I have an exclusive invitation and I'm only offering it to you because you are here and live with me tonight. So this is something I was so excited. This just came through my coaching channel today, and I think it's just an amazing testament to what can happen when you put in the work. So Annie, she's a former teacher, and she shared, I have the most exciting news to share with you. I am officially at my first 5K month as a Pinterest manager. I've signed 2 new clients in the past 2 days. That puts me at 8 clients for January. Even though 1 client will be leaving next week, the monthly income forward is still over 5K. I literally could never imagine my life like this before. Finding your content on YouTube last year, you have transformed my perspective on starting a business and working for myself. I literally owe all of this to you. And I just want to say, I don't think that Annie owes all of this to me. I think I helped her get there, but she put in the work and I can't make her do the work. That's on her. She is an amazing testament to, following the steps and reaching out and getting that coaching support and putting in the work. I give 100% to my students, but this requires 100% as well on their part. So, and even though I'm excited to start working with Pinterest ads, I haven't even touched that yet. You are so right that we can scale our organic management business to a full-time income without needing to do ad services. So that's another story for another day, but I just thought that this was such an awesome like testament to just putting in the work and like what can happen. It's amazing. So I have lots and lots of, case studies and students and success stories from my academy. But like I said, these students are giving 100% and they know that this is the right fit for them. So Robin, I signed 2 more clients this week. Your support has made all the difference. Adriana, she's actually a former orthodontist. Okay. Sorry about writing in the weekend, but I just landed my first client. Yay. Spoiler alert. Adriana enrolled in February of 2024, and by July of 2024, she had her first 5K month. So you can see that this is working for lots and lots of people, and it can for you too. But you need some information, right? So before we go any further, what are these people doing as a Pinterest manager? So let me explain what a Pinterest manager is, because for some of you, this might be a newer term. As a Pinterest manager, you are a small business owner, okay? You're a service-based business. So you're offering a service that business owners need, and they are willing to pay you for that, okay? So if you have heard of copywriters, graphic designers, bookkeepers, social media managers, virtual assistants, those are all types of service-based businesses, okay? A Pinterest manager is also a freelancer or service provider. And what you're doing is you're managing a Pinterest account, hence Pinterest manager. And like I said, business owners will pay you to manage their Pinterest accounts. Now, we're going to get into why they would pay you to do that in just a minute, but I want you to understand that business model as being a small business owner and you're offering a service, because you have to decide right off the bat, does that feel good to me to help somebody and offer this service? That felt good to me in the beginning of my business. I didn't want to like push physical products or, post all over social media or do all this, when I was thinking about work from home options. And for me, having a service where I could help other business owners, that felt good to me. So, like I said, you're a contractor, an independent contractor, a freelancer. You are not an employee. Okay, so even though you work with business owners, they're not your employer. You are entering into a mutual contract. Okay, and the beauty of it is you're not really like putting all of your eggs in one basket. You can have multiple clients. Annie, that I just read her, review or testimonial or win inside my coaching channel, she said she has 8 clients. That's amazing. Like I mentioned, Adriana, she has 5 clients. My student Emily, she has 5 clients. So, um, you have multiple clients that you're working with. So, as a Pinterest manager, you're actually marketing. Okay. So, business owners will pay you to market their business on their Pinterest account. So you're probably here because something piqued your interest about Pinterest, right? So when I first started my business, I heard about Pinterest management, but I'm like, I don't know what that means. I just like Pinterest. So you might be in the same boat. So I just want to say, you're actually not working on your Pinterest account. You can pin all you want on Pinterest. What you're doing for a business owner, though, you're actually logging in to their account and working on their account. And I teach my students all of the ins and the outs of how to do that. But I just want to explain that you're not actually working on your account, you're doing it for a client and on their account. So let me know in the chat, and it's okay if it's still a little muddy, but let me know in the chat how you're feeling. 1, this is very clear. I'm with you, Emily. 2, if you're like, I'm still a little unclear, it's still a little muddled for me. So let me know in the chat. Lori, I love this idea. 1, Courtney, Hannah 1, Sky 1, Jen 1, Farah 1. Does Pinterest work for brick and mortar shops too? Lily, I love that question. I'm gonna get into it. I'm so glad you asked that, Lily, too, because Ariana, heck yes. I want to answer all of your questions, and I don't want you to think I'm not like respecting the chat or not, taking time to answer them. I will answer the questions. And Lily, I want to answer yours. Sandy, thumbs up. Okay, seeing lots of ones. You guys are rock stars. Let's see. Great. Okay. I'm just going to save the questions until the end. So Lily, know that your question is important to me and I will answer it, but I'm going to keep tracking along here. And so I'll probably save some of the questions until the end, but just know that plug them into the chat as much as needed. And I will go through the chat at the end and answer all of those questions. Okay. So what are these 4 boxes here? We're going to call these the 4 futures. And based off of the decisions you start making today, tomorrow, next month, next year, those decisions are either getting you closer or further away from the future that you want. Okay. So in our future, we could have, good, like, let's not even say good, let's say amazing. And then there's okay future, then there's poor, and then there's the worst. Like, this is the worst case scenario. And I think that when we think about our future and making a change, a survival mechanism or something that we all do is we kind of go to like doomsday, like what is the worst case scenario? And a lot of us think like, I lose my job and then I can't find another job and then I can't pay my bills and then I can't put food on the table and then we lose our house and then we're home and we go into this like spiral. But I read this on social media the other day and it was like, what's the best that could happen? So I want you to go there right now. If you made a change, what's the best that could happen? I want you to think it's not too far away that we can't wrap our minds around it, but it's kind of far. Where do you want to be in 3 years? Pop that in the chat. I want you to put in terms of monthly income and hours you're working weekly. I'm going to say that one more time. I want you to think about where you want to be in 3 years from now in terms of monthly income and hours you're working weekly. I'm going to give my example. When I first started my business, I wanted to make at least $2,000 a month, and I had about 20 to 25 hours weekly I could work. That was my goal. That's it. It was very modest, but I was also a teacher. And in 2017, and I have receipts because I have had people on like YouTube and stuff be like, oh, you're making that up. Teachers make way more than that. In 2017, I have my pay stubs and they were literally $918. So I would make about $1,800 a month. I made that 2 times a month. I made about $1,800 a month. So if I made $2,000 and I was working a fraction of the hours weekly, that was like my dream result. That was like the future, like amazing. So I want you to put that in the chat. What would that be for you? Amazing. Now, not necessarily me, right? That was back in 2017. In 2025, $2,000 is not a lot to live on, right? So now of course we did have my husband's income too, but okay, let's see here. I'm gonna start checking. Ariana, in 3 years, I would love to be making 10K a month, working 25 hours a week. Alicia, 5K a month, 20 less than 20 hours. Amazing. Kiki, 10K per month, 25 hours per week. Courtney, 3 years from now, 5K months and 20 hours a week. Beautiful, Courtney. Love it. Crystal, part-time hours and 10K. Awesome. Christine, 3,020 hours. Marilee, I hope I'm pronouncing everybody's names right. If I'm not, forgive me. 5K, no more than 30 hours a week. Jean, 5K month, 20 hours a week. Bailey, 10K monthly, around 20 hours. Amazing. Hannah, 10K per month, 20-ish hours. These are all so awesome. I love it. Amanda said, I want to make 2 to 3 times more than I made as a teacher, working 20 hours a week with more flexibility for niece and nephew events and family. Oh, I love that. 50K, 25 hours. Yes, Tony, amazing. Kim, 50K a month, 20 to 30 hours. These are awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so these are amazing goals. Now, you can put it in the chat if you want to, or you can just write it down, or you can put it up here in your head. But I want you to think about like, what would okay be? What would an okay future be? So if you were saying 10K, maybe okay would be like maybe 7 to 8K. And if you said 25 hours, maybe that's more like 30 hours. So it's going to be a little less money, maybe a little bit more working hours. And then poor, that would be like maybe it's, if you said 10K, maybe that's like, 3 to 4K, and then it's even more working hours. And then the worst case, I have a great example of worst case. When I was teaching, the school I was teaching at was actually going to allow me to come back part-time, which is kind of unheard of. I was going to be working 3 days a week, so about 24 hours. But if anybody's a teacher in here, you know that it's never just 40 hours. It's never just 24. It would, of course, be more than that. And I was going to be losing benefits, so insurance, because I was part-time, which was 24 hours a week. And after childcare slash like daycare expenses, if I did the math, and then of course I had the commute, the gas mileage, my school was about 30 minutes away from me, I was actually going to be paying to work. I was not even going to be breaking even, let alone like bring in like grocery money or something. And we have to think about our time. I was going to be losing all of this time with a brand new baby. So in 2017, I had a baby, and I thought, I can't make this make sense. That is the worst case scenario, be paying to work and lose all this time with my daughter. I truly felt like my back was against the wall. Like I had to make a change. And so I quit my job. So that was my worst case scenario. So I'm gonna check the chat and see what everybody's saying. Emily, my screen was frozen, so I couldn't respond until now. Jackie, do not even worry about it. I get that. Let's see, part-time is not part-time when teaching. Yes, exactly. It's never part-time, right? When I was quote, working full-time 40 hours, it was always like 55. That's so true. So, okay, we've thought about the okay future, the poor, and the worst case, right? So you're gonna see this. This looks like kind of like a time horizon, or I want you to think about it as a time horizon. We're here on this black arrow. We're gonna say this is January 12th, 2025. These lines, these are the choices that we're making. And the choices we're making are either getting us to that future that is amazing, that 50K a month, 20 to 25 hours, or it's getting us closer to the worst case scenario, or maybe somewhere in between there, which is still not great, right? So over time, in 6 to 9 months or 3 years from now, you can see that these lines, they get further and further away from each other. And the difference between amazing dream results in 3 years and the worst case scenario, the difference between those two almost becomes insurmountable, where it's like you get in that hole and it's like you don't even know how to like start to climb out. And so that's why it's so important to think about the choices you're making right now. And if you're not happy, a change needs to be made, right? And so, like I said, it was actually kind of good that where I saw my future was going the worst case because it forced me to make a change. And prior to that, I don't know if I would have made a change. I remember talking to my husband about, not wanting to go back to teaching and having mixed feelings because I don't want to lose that time with my daughter. And I remember him being like, just quit your job. And I remember being irritated because it was one of those things that was felt like flippant and like irresponsible. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, good idea. And then I quit my job. So anyways, it's, life events and things like that. They it makes us like make a decision that we wouldn't normally. And it was good, but it was also scary. And we kind of got by for about 8 months, but in the summer of 2018, we realized like, we're gonna have to dramatically change our lifestyle. We had also bought a house in 2017, and we really felt like we needed another source of income. So that's where we're gonna go after this. But I just wanted to show you though that, if you don't love like where you're at right now, the change can start now. And the thing is that the more time that passes, you can see here, you're either going where you want to go or not. So these students felt the same way. Erin, she's a teacher, contract signed, invoice paid. Emily, she she had Etsy shops, but they weren't consistent income for her. And so she enrolled in my academy, securing my first Pinterest management client. And spoiler alert too, with Emily, she has had an amazing amount of success. And I want to say she has 6 clients right now, and she's still in my academy. Whitney, she was actually a dental assistant, has 2 clients right now. So you can see, lots of wins. So I want you to think about what you put as like the amazing result for 3 years from now. I want you to think about that right now. How would that feel if you could achieve that? I would love for you to take a second and just put that in the chat. How would that feel if you could achieve that? Freeing, fantabulous. I love that. Amazing, awesome. It would feel liberating. Alicia, freeing, total relief. I'd sleep so much better. Oh, Kelsey, I hear that. Would be thrilled to raise my children and also make an income. Yes, relief, peaceful, relieving, relief, excellent, a breath of fresh air, grateful. I love these so much. Okay, so what is it costing you to not start now? I want to share that this dream result, it is possible for you thanks to freelancing and Pinterest management. And I just want to say that it is wild to think about how much life has changed. And it will be, let's see, 7 years this summer that I actually started my business. But I actually did, and I'll share more about this, but I actually did virtual assisting for about a year before I decided to go into to Pinterest management. But I just want to say that, it is crazy to see all the twists and turns and how I've scaled my business. And that's the beauty of it. But also sometimes the scary part is you don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen in the future, but it's also kind of the best because it's evolved into something I could have never dreamed of. So let's talk about this wow result with thinking of starting a new career. Typically, if you want to start a new career, you kind of the old way, you had two options. You had trade school, which is about $5,000 to $15,000, or if you went to college, four-year college is anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 according to advisors. I'm thinking about this and I'm like, I feel like that's even more. And gosh, I think about my husband. We met at Purdue. We both went to Purdue University, and he's from Illinois, so he actually had like out of state costs, which then it's like almost like the same as like paying for a private school. So insane, right? So I just want to say though, we live in this amazing time where now you can change careers and you can learn new skills. And yes, you might invest a decent amount of time, right? And maybe some money, but not to the tune of 50 to $100,000 or even, 5,000 to 15,000. But ultimately, it's about finding something that's, oh, I have a little bit of feedback here. Let me pull up, make sure everybody's on mute. Okay. It's about finding something that's going to work for you and that's an alignment for you. And so that's what I want you to get out of this is seeing if this is a good fit for you. So what is that wow result worth to you? Some of my Pinterest Manager Academy, so when you're thinking about that wow result, some of my students land their first client in 3 weeks. And like I shared, others it takes a little bit more time, but you are creating a sustainable income. And that does take time to build. So I want to share with you, this is how much experience I had before I started, 0. So if you're coming here to this training and you have no background in business, in sales and marketing, anything like that, then you're in good company. That's exactly where I was too, a big 0. So I'd love for you to put in the chat, do you have a little bit of experience in business? That could be, gosh, let's say if you've done anything with Etsy, a blog, if you've done virtual assisting, anything business related, or maybe your degree is in something business or sales or marketing related, put that in the chat for me now. Or if you have 0 experience like me, you can put I'm like you, or you can put 0. I just want to get a pulse on where everybody is at. No experience, 0, 0, 0, 0, none, and not much experience with Pinterest. Sandy, no problem. Okay, lots of zeros. I am a business owner now, but I hate advertising part because I'm not good at it. Oh, Lori, I get that. Jennifer, I had one Etsy shop. Oh, cool. I worked for AT&T in sales for a bit back in 2018. Yes, I have a bachelor in marketing, used to do my own company. Wow, Courtney, amazing. Sky, some advertising experience with graphic design, that is. Oh, very cool, Sky. That's awesome. So we have a little bit of both here. Okay. So some of you are like me, some of you have way more experience already than I did. So as you already heard me saying, I am a former teacher. I quit my job in 2017. This is a picture of me on the first day of school with my first class. And in 2018, that's when I decided to start my business. And I actually took a course. It was not a coaching program, but I took a course and it was self-paced. I had to kind of, hold myself accountable, but it taught me about freelancing. And so that's when I decided to become a virtual assistant. And I did a little bit of everything, and it made me feel like a crazy person. And I also realized that as a virtual assistant, it's not a great way to scale your income because you're charging based off of hours. Okay. And so I knew that in order to make more, it's good to niche down, however you want to say it. And so I decided to do social media management. Hated social media management. I was so over Instagram, liking posts, commenting, direct messages. I honestly found it very draining. And my clients also wanted me to do things at specific times of the day. Like they wanted me to post at 9 p.m. and then engage with the, comments and stuff after I posted. It really wasn't a great role for a mom who needed flexibility. So Around June of 2019, I had a client who asked me to play around with her Pinterest account. It was kind of all history from there because in the back of my mind, I knew a Pinterest manager I knew that that was a thing, quote, and I wanted to do it, but I didn't really know how to get started. So I had this amazing opportunity in front of me. And I was really nervous because I had no idea what to do on Pinterest, but I decided to invest in further skills training. And, I did a lot of self-teaching too, but it was a very long path to scaling. And it took me a couple of years to get to where some of my students get to in about 5 or 6 months because I was doing a lot of trial and error. But what I learned from that was that Pinterest management was so flexible. I could do it in super early in the morning, late in the, it didn't have to be done at certain times of the day. And it was just so much more flexible. So we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But, this is where I'm at now. This was at a mastermind, a business mastermind. I continually invest in my own business and coaching and furthering myself because as a teacher, I think I'm just like a lifelong learner. But this was at a business mastermind retreat that I went to in 2023 in New York City. And it's just wild to think about everything I've learned and experienced. And like I said, I never thought I would be where I am today. So it's really cool that, all of that stemmed from making that choice that I'm not gonna go back to teaching and I have to start something new. And, I don't do things halfway. When I made up my mind to do this, I was all in. So this is what I do. And this is what I really discovered by working as a Pinterest manager. I really learned how Pinterest works for business owners. And it's a very much different thought process and approach than you're probably used to as a Pinterest user. So, what I learned is that as a Pinterest user, we go to the platform for solutions. Tonight's dinner recipe, tomorrow's DIY project, our wedding, our baby nursery, our surprise birthday party. We plan things and we use Pinterest, right? And we get ideas. When we search the next piece of the puzzles, we see pins. And those pins are essentially, beautiful ways to get visual inspiration. And what Pinterest users do, we save the pins to our boards, or sometimes we leave the platform to learn more, whether that be through a product, a blog post, a download, a printable, an ebook. And so when essentially Pinterest takes the Pinterest user and takes them to a website, that's kind of where the magic happens for the business owner. So for some of us, we're like, how do business owners make money on Pinterest? It's just a totally different like perspective or viewpoint. So we're used to searching and looking at pins, but little do we know or do we think about business owners when they take us from Pinterest to their website, they're able to monetize that traffic in a lot of different ways. And it just kind of depends on their business model, how they're making money from Pinterest. So, for example, food bloggers, they depend on a lot of traffic to their blog posts. You know how you're scrolling recipes, you get all these pesky ads? Guess what? Having those ads on their site, they're making money off of those paid ads on their site. So, you know, essentially advertisers are giving them money to put their ads on their website. And it's kind of annoying for the user experience, right? But that's the way that bloggers are making money. So I just want to share that Pinterest takes people essentially from Pinterest to people's websites. And so that's how that's how business owners are essentially able to monetize Pinterest. They use it to get traffic to their website. Okay, so big overview. How does Pinterest work for businesses? It takes people from Pinterest to their website. Okay. And then once they get you to their website, it's like getting you in their sphere. And like, if it's a product business, or like subscribe and get 20% off your first order. Or if it's a blogger, they're making money on the paid ads. And, we don't even think about that. We're just used to the user experience, right? But I share this because business owners want to pay you to market on their Pinterest account because they are making money from using Pinterest. Okay. So these are some of the results I've achieved for my students, or excuse me, not for my students, for my clients, because as a Pinterest manager myself, yes, I teach people how to do this now, but I actually still do work with clients. I always tell people I'm not competition for my students because I'm not taking new clients, but I do still work with clients. And these are some of the results that my clients have gotten. So upwards of over $8,000 from their Pinterest traffic, 1.5 million impressions, an engaged audience of almost 850,000 people. Those are some serious volume numbers, an engaged audience of 44,000 people. This is from one platform. So think about what this could do for their business with having that many people who are going to their website, engaging with their content. So when you're thinking about who uses Pinterest, Target, Lush, Peloton, course creators, business coaches, bloggers, pretty much if you have a website and an offer, you can make money from Pinterest. Now, Lily had a really great question. She asked about brick and mortar businesses. There are some businesses where it doesn't make as much sense to use to use Pinterest. And so if you have a brick and mortar business and you have these geographic constraints, meaning people have to be in person in order to make a purchase, Pinterest might not make as much sense. However, to Lily's question though, it does depend on the brick and mortar. So locally, there was a boutique called Dottie Couture, and they had 3 different locations in like the Indianapolis area. However, they grew this really large online presence where they sold clothing online, and their online really kind of took, I think it really took over even like way over the sales of like the in-person brick and mortar, because then they could reach people, all over the country. And so I had a friend who lives in Illinois. I have a friend who lives in California. They literally, like I said, all over the country would order from this online boutique in Indiana that they were familiar with. So in that case, if you have this online presence and you can serve people all over the country or even all over the world, then yes, Pinterest makes sense. Now, let's think of another example where Pinterest might not make sense. If you have like a dentist office where you have to have patients in person, you have nothing to offer to people outside of them physically like being treated, then no, Pinterest probably doesn't make sense. But I want to share that on this, page of my presentation, I'm sharing Target, Lush, Peloton. These are huge businesses. The thing is 97% of searches on Pinterest are unbranded. And that means that, the small businesses, the small bloggers, the teachers pay teacher sellers, the Etsy shop owners, they can all benefit from Pinterest because people don't go to Pinterest looking for brands they know and love. They go using keywords, just trying to find the perfect solution to their problem. Okay, so it gives small businesses, this huge opportunity. And I've grown my clients' traffic to their website 50% year over year. I've helped them make, upwards of 5 to 10K monthly just from Pinterest traffic. So you can see why businesses would want to pay me to do this for them because they're making money from Pinterest and way more money than they're paying me. So it's a good return on their investment. So if you can't see here, Pinterest is a no-brainer for almost any business. And that means endless potential in terms of clients for you. So when you're wondering like, who needs this? There are so many. Think about all the millions and millions and millions of online businesses. Think of how many Pinterest managers you know. There are way more businesses that need this service than there are Pinterest managers. And just think, are there 5 to 10 businesses in the entire world that would work with you? Yes. So when you're thinking about this, whether it be like if you're worried about oversaturation or if anybody would ever hire you, just think about how logical that is. You don't think that there's 5 people in the entire world that would hire you for this service? Of course there is. But like I said, it's kind of releasing some of those expectations in terms of when it should happen. Of course, we want it to happen quicker than others. And some of my students, like I said, it happens in a couple of months and some it takes longer. So whether you have a little bit of experience or no experience across the board, just like me, I want to share with you why you and why Pinterest, because there's a lot of other options out there in terms of working from home. It comes back to this alignment and finding something that feels right to you. And these students that I'm sharing, like Courtney, who by her 4th month in the academy, she was making $2,200 a month. $2,200 a month in 1 month, just her 4th month inside the academy. Jen, she actually was a blogger before she enrolled in the academy, but she got her first client. Ashley was a stay-at-home mom, and she was so excited about what she's learned about business and starting her Pinterest management business. So you can see that when there's this alignment and you know it's a good fit for you, these students who are investing themselves in starting this business, they're having tons of success. So when you're thinking about comparing this to other options, here is what gives Pinterest the edge and why it might be a good fit for you. Pinterest is a platform that actually is underrated. And this means many businesses need to get on board. I actually was on Instagram and there's this, like, I've been looking up a lot of like non-toxic living, like health and wellness. And there's this business that has all these clean products like protein powders and I don't know, lots of stuff. And she has this big business, all these like affiliate offers where she could be making money from selling affiliate things and stuff. And I go to her website and guess what? She's not on Pinterest. And I was like, she has a blog, she has all these products. And I'm like, how is this person not on Pinterest? And I literally posted in my coaching community. I was like, I'm not taking on clients right now because I spend so much time coaching all of you. But I was like, somebody please go and reach out to her and pitch her your services because she needs to be on Pinterest. So just look up some of your favorite businesses and see if they're on Pinterest. Um, Pinterest allows you to be creative. You have this ability to batch your content. So, like when I say your content, your clients, so you don't have to hustle daily. I use a scheduler. So I had a system where I would work on like 1 to 2 client accounts a day. So when I had 3 clients, I would work on Ashley's account on a Monday, I'd work on Dina's account on a Tuesday, and I would work on Amanda's account on a Wednesday. And I would work on it one day and then I wouldn't touch it for another 7 days. So I would get all of Ashley's done on Monday and I wouldn't touch her Pinterest then until the next Monday. So if I could get her account done in 2 to 3 hours in the morning on Monday, I wouldn't touch it again until the following Monday. It was amazing. So, like I said, you have this ability to batch. You don't have to be available certain times of the day. You can truly do it when it's convenient for you. It's a good, feel good platform. There's not a bunch of trolls on Pinterest. There's unlimited potential. And of course, it was rewarding for me to help people. So the reality when I started was I had no experience, nor did I understand how or why business owners would use Pinterest to make money. I just knew I loved the platform. So, like I said, you might be like me, but since then, I've created this repeatable system that not only worked for my clients and helped them make tons of money, but now I'm teaching this to my students. And it's not something that is like theory or worked like 5 years ago for me. This is literally working for them right now in 2025. Annie, that I read at the beginning, she just posted that in our coaching channel today. So my students are having tons of success. I also have a hire form. So I consistently have that filled out by business owners. And then I give those leads to my students. So I know that, I can literally see that there is a need for this service. So I can share with you, and I'm not going to read these right now, but I just want to share with you. I not only am helping people start their Pinterest management business, but the reason why I am qualified to do this is because this is what I did for multiple years before I taught people how to do this. Okay. So these are testimonials from people that actually benefited from my services. So, Jillian, she's amazing. She's a course creator and digital product seller. Shared just how my strategies benefited her business. Shannon, I still work with Shannon. So if you're like, if this is so great, then why don't you still work with clients? Well, I do. So I just love to teach people too, but Shannon, I still work with her. And so she is a blogger. She is an author, so she sells books, and then she also is a digital product seller. So she just talked about how essentially, my Pinterest strategies, have helped her increase her income. So if you can't see here, Pinterest has done so much for me. It's helped me stay at home with my girls. I help other business owners thrive daily. I've made more in 1 month from managing Pinterest accounts than I made in 7 months of teaching, and I can do my job from anywhere. So, it is something that has truly, I sent this in an email to people who are on my email list. I'm like, I'm not trying to like be dramatic, but Pinterest literally changed my life because it has given me this freedom. So if you can't tell, I'm a little obsessed, and that has not wavered over the years. I did kind of think, I'm like, will I get tired of this? Like, is this going to totally burn me out on Pinterest? And it hasn't at all. It just showed me that that intuition I had or that feeling like I think Pinterest would be a good fit for me, it was totally right on. So I want you to listen to that gut feeling too, because like I said at the beginning, I don't think that this is necessarily for everybody, and that's okay. Whether this is a yes or a no from you, I hope it gets you closer. If it is a no, I hope it gets you closer to what will be a good fit for you, because I just want to help people, even if me coaching you is not the best fit. So right now you might be thinking, look, we're going to talk a little bit about mindset, and then we're going to move into the framework so that you can get started with your Pinterest management business. So I want to give you a little heads up about where we're going. So remember, I said this will last about 90 minutes, so just hang with me for a little bit longer here. So roadblock number one, this is important to think through these things because these are the things you're going to tell yourself about why you shouldn't do this. So we have to think about how we're going to overcome these things. So roadblock number one, I don't think I'll ever be able to develop the skills I need to be successful. Do you feel that way right now? I want you to think about this almost as a staircase, or maybe even like layering bricks as you build a house. You can't get caught up in the grand plan. Okay. So, the 3 years, the 50K months, or the 10K months, that sounds amazing. But right now, it might feel overwhelming about like where to even get started. We just sometimes need to take one step at a time and just look down at that first foot moving forward. Okay. So, of course, we want to think about where we want to go in the future, but sometimes we just have to take that first step and know that like it's going to be a little bit of a process. We have to build brick by brick. And like I said at the beginning, Rome wasn't built in a day, but you need to decide, is taking that first step getting you closer or further away from where you want to go ultimately? Now, roadblock number two, I know this works for other people, but what I get asked a lot, how do I know it'll work for me? So, what I've shared, this didn't just work for me, it's working for dozens and dozens of students. Shireen, I just landed my first client off a discovery call that I got from a cold pitch. She committed to 3 months. No questions, but I wanted to share. I landed my first client. You can see I have on my enrollment page for the Academy dozens upon dozens of reviews and testimonials. I even have video reviews. This didn't just work for me, it's working for other people because this is an amazing business and I know how to get you there step by step. But you have to decide, there are more testimonials. You have to decide it works for other people and it will work for you, but you have to decide that you're going to give 100%. My most successful students, so these students that I just had 3 clients pay their invoice. I made $1,600 this month. Michaela just landed my second client. She's a dream to work with. Jordan, I just signed and paid my first client. You can see Adriana is celebrating my 4th client. Lots of wins. These are the things that these students are doing. So if you're like, yes, I want that, they take action, they ask questions and take advantage of my coaching. They literally receive daily coaching. When I said that my program is like nothing else, it's like nothing else. They can literally get my support on a daily basis. They show up to coaching calls. They reach out to business owners via my hire form. They are given leads and they take advantage of that. They follow the roadmaps that's literally given for them. And last but not least, they don't make excuses. So this is one thing when we think about making excuses. And like I said at the beginning, this is tough love. I want you to be successful. And so sometimes we need to hear the tough love, right? If you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. And I know that's hard, but it's the truth. And so, what are you going to fight for? Are you going to fight for your success or are you going to fight for your limitations? So, like I said, I say that because I'm rooting for you, but you have to want this too. So, roadblock number 3, isn't it just easier to stick with my current career? I think this sounds too uncomfortable. You have to decide. Do you want another year of almost? You signed up, you are here tonight, and you're taking time out of your night. And I don't take that lightly because you want more for your life and you're not happy with your current situation or something you want a change of some type. So you have to think about, if you don't make a change, what will that look like in 5 years? So I just want to say I loved my other job too. I really did love teaching. And there's so many things that I didn't love that come with the job, like politics and lots of other things. But I did love the students so, so much. And I loved teaching and actually helping these kids. But major life events can change how you feel, and you have to decide what's more painful, starting something new or staying where you are. And for me, it was more painful to stay where I was in teaching and being taken away from my baby. And also, too, knowing that as much as I love teaching and the kids, that at the end of the day, and you might feel this way, and not necessarily a teacher, you could feel this way whatever job you're working, or maybe you don't have a job. That's also not easy to not have a job, right? It's not easy to worry about paying your bills. So you have to think about like what's more painful, making this change or staying where I am. So the thing is you need a process. You don't need a pipe dream because right now online, it feels like there's a lot of pipe dreams being sold. So I want to tell you what is included in my framework, what you need to do in order to start your Pinterest management business, because the Pinterest management game is way easier than you think. But you do need a process and you need step by step how you are going to get to that dream result that we talked about. So I'm going to break down for you exactly what you need. Now, I have talked to enough people and I've been doing this long enough to know roughly what the average is in terms of goal. So most people share that they want part-time hours. Obviously, that could be 15 to 20 hours. Maybe you're more like 10 hours. Some of you said as many as like 25 or 30. So we're going to call it 15 to 20. And then a lot of you, there I saw 3 to 4K months, 3K months, 10K months, 50K months. So right now I have 10K months, but just know that this might look a little bit different for you. However, this framework can truly support whatever goals you have. And I know that because, like I said, I am living proof of that. So the first piece of this framework, you're here because you want freedom and money. So you want to start offering this service, right? You want to be a Pinterest manager. You want to work less time and make good money. Sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. You want to work less time and you want to make good money. So the first piece of this framework and what I'm teaching students inside my academy, we need to take you from Pinterest user to Pinterest guru. So you have to have skills training. None of us came out of the womb knowing how to market on Pinterest, right? And if you did, that's incredible. You need to talk to me because that's crazy. But no, seriously, we need to take you from Pinterest user to Pinterest guru because you are here because something about Pinterest sparks your interest slash curiosity. And that's exactly why I thought it would be a good fit for me. So I was on the same page as you. But you have to get some skills training because in order to offer this service, you have to be taught. So you need to learn more about marketing on Pinterest. And we're going to talk more about that. So when we're thinking about this skills training, one of the things, and I just want to give you a little piece of this puzzle. One of the things you'll be doing is something that I think is super fun. And when you're thinking about that skills training, one of the things I do is I actually create and design the pins for my clients. And so if you have used Canva, drop that in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you have used Canva. And I just want to say, if you have never used Canva, totally fine. When I started my business, I had never even heard of Canva. So if you're like, Emily, gosh darn it, I knew this wasn't for me. I don't even know what Canva is. I didn't know what Canva is either, or when I started, I didn't. So you were in good company once again. So this pin right here was the first pin I ever designed. And I just want to say that when you're thinking about the design piece, if you're like, I'm not a graphic designer, I'm not either. So one thing that is really helpful, your clients will give you pictures and videos. You are not a digital creator, meaning like you're not taking, photographs for your clients. You're not taking videos for them. They provide you with those things. So these pictures of the bows, the little girl, the hair bows, this was my client's product. And I was showcasing it on Pinterest, but I didn't take those pictures. She gave those to me. I just had to make them look nice on a pin. And guess what? This was not that great of a pin. It's not that great. I'm going to be honest, but we all have to start somewhere. So I'm going to check the chat and let me know too. Do you think that sounds fun to make pins? That's like one of my favorite things that I do. And like I said, with Canva, it makes it like easy peasy. Okay, let's see here. Um, let's see. Oh, Ariana, I have a degree in marketing. I've worked in the field for 5 years, along with having my own blog, and I had a previous Canva. Holy cow. Ariana, you are on fire there. Wow. Um, I am a CAPM certified associate in project amazing. I also have some marketing concentration. With my bachelor's, I owned a business before. Oh my goodness, you guys are way further ahead of me. Lily, yes, this would be especially shop with an online shop serving worldwide. Thank you. Oh, very cool, Lily. I'm glad that answered your question. Yanni, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm in pictures all the time. Yes, love Canva. Yes, yes, yes. I have. Oh my goodness, love Canva. And you know what's so funny is when I started 7 years ago, I'm like, I don't know if Pinterest was like, had been how long it had been around, but I do feel like everybody has used Canva at some point now. I love Canva, Lily. Love Canva. Amazing. Gabby, yes, yes, but experience in Adobe programs. Amazing, Sky. Okay, if you're experienced in Adobe, then I feel like Canva is definitely going to be easy peasy. I've been using it for years when they charge $1 for everything. Amazing, Amanda. Sounds so fun. This sounds like so much fun. Yes, yes, yes. Not in the least, but thank you. Oh, I have a Like It to Know It account, and this is my bread and butter. Yay! I love that, Raquel. Awesome. I am obsessed with Like It to Know, by the way. Courtney, I'm a second grade teacher. Canva's my amazing. Some of you guys are like just like so like all of you are so far beyond where I was. So this should make you just feel amazing. So, okay, the next piece though. So you guys are Canva rock stars, the design piece. There's definitely more to um obviously Pinterest management, but I wanted to give you something like that design piece. Like that's a big part of what I do is make pins for my clients. And like I said, it makes it a lot easier because they give me those assets like the pictures, the videos, but they also, you'll use branding on the pin. So businesses have their own fonts, their own colors. That's part of having a brand. And so they give you those things. So it's not like you're reinventing the wheel. You're kind of making their blog, their products come to life through beautiful pins. Now, there is SEO and keywords and, a little bit of copywriting. And when I say copywriting, pins do need descriptions and you're going to be writing, what people are going to receive when they click through on that pin. But that stuff, it's all taught in the academy. So I just wanted to share that. Obviously, it's not just designing pins, but the other piece, whoops, I think, let me go through here. I think we have somebody off mute again. Okay. All right. We're on mute now. Okay, so the other piece is the automation because of course we want to get to freedom and money. We don't want to have to be working 8 hours a day. We don't want to be working at 9 p.m. posting and engaging. So the other piece of this freedom is that you can automate. So I do teach my students how to use Tailwind. Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of Tailwind. It's just a scheduler and it's a great way to get your clients set up for success. And then that allows you to work at 4 in the morning if you want to, or work at midnight if you want to, or just work normal hours. I worked very odd hours because I am a mom. And so sometimes I would be working at like, 5 in the morning, and that worked for me. But the beauty of it was is I could do it when it was convenient for me. So I've never heard of it. No, no, no. Okay, not as many people have heard of Tailwind. Nope, the scheduler would be new to me, but automation is key. Absolutely, Lori. Use the quiet time. Yes, absolutely. Never heard of it. Totally fine. Teach my students how to use Tailwind. So truly, everything is taught in my academy. Everything you need to be successful. So in terms of pricing, because we don't just want the freedom, right? We need good income. So I teach my students in the academy what packages to put together. So the types of services you're going to be offering, right? You need to know what to offer, but then how to price them because you're going to start off at beginner, but you're ultimately going to scale your prices because people are not paying you hourly. They are paying you for your expertise. This is a niche service and there is a need for it, but not everybody knows how to do this. And I have had business owners come to me and be like, you know what? I gave this to somebody on my team and they didn't get any results. And I'm like, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but probably because they didn't know what they were doing. Pinterest is not as intuitive. And I don't say that to make it sound intimidating because you would get the proper and expert skills training, but you can't just give this over to anybody. You have to know what you're doing in order to get results, and people will pay you for that expertise. So my students are charging anywhere from around like $500 to $700 a month for one client. But as you scale your prices, like Annie, she started last February, it's been almost a year. some of her packages are over $1,000 now. And so you scale your prices over time. And it's not you work more, you make more, you develop this expertise where you start having these premium packages and you're actually working less but making more. And there's a lot of different ways to scale your business too, depending on the route you want to go. Okay. So I also teach that in the academy, how to continue to increase your income without, totally blowing out of the water the whole reason why you did this. So I don't want you to trade one 40-hour a week job for another one. I want you to be able to work less, but continue to make more. So actually, I'm going to slow down here for 1 second. This piece of the triangle, my framework, the skills training, automating Pinterest, pricing, the packages. How do you feel about this? Put in the chat green, yellow, or red. We're going to use like a stoplight system. Green means go, like, yes, I got this part. I'm good here, Emily. Yellow is like, little, I think I could get there. I've got a little knowledge. Red is like, oh, I need a lot of help, but that's okay. But I don't know. I need help. Stop. So I say that because I just want like a pulse check. There's no right or wrong answer. So I will say you don't have to have prerequisite skills, and I am living proof of that. And my students, I have lots of students. Most of my students have zero experience before they're in the academy. Red, sky. Green sounds similar to how I've been learning to sell my graphic design services. Amazing sky. Yellow, good. Danny, yellow, yellow, yellow. Yellow, awesome. I'm seeing mainly yellow and green. Awesome. I love this. Okay. So the next piece, getting the right client load. Some of you are like, I was waiting for this. Where do these people come from? How do you find them? Why are they going to pay you? So we already kind of talked about why they would pay you. Obviously, you're going to make more for them because you're going to be getting more people to their website, right? But getting the right client load. So the first piece in order to getting clients, I actually do not teach my students to create a website day one. As a business owner, yes, you should eventually have a website, but I actually teach my students to create a portfolio. So you can create your portfolio in Canva. I teach them what to put in their portfolio, how to showcase themselves as an expert, how to create their packages, right? We already talked about that with the pricing system. You get your packages, you get your pricing. I also personally review my students' portfolio, and I'm like the teacher in me if there's grammatical things or anything like that, or I'm like, you're pricing yourself too cheap. You need to increase a little bit. Or if they've left things out of their portfolio, or there's a typo, you're literally getting coaching and direct feedback. That's unheard of. When most people purchase like a quote course, it's like, here it is, do it. Godspeed, this should work for you. My academy is so different because it's like, no, like we're doing this together. Like I'm giving you the steps and there's accountability, like get your portfolio done, put it in our coaching channel. I want to review it for you. You have mindset issues, let me know. I can't help you if I don't know about it. Like you have to ask for help. So you're getting that coaching. So sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but you can get booked out with just a portfolio. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars in having a website set up by a professional. You don't have to invest thousands of your hours trying to tinker with the website. You can spend a couple of hours to get that portfolio done. So that's the first piece. You have to have a portfolio. And I also teach my students how to get testimonials. So not managing full accounts, but doing a little bit of light work in exchange for feedback. And from that feedback, they can put that in their portfolio. And it's feedback from real business owners saying and sharing what it was like to work with you. So the next piece, okay, no excuse, paid to pitch. In my academy, I teach multiple strategies for finding clients. You can find clients in Facebook groups. You can use Upwork. You can use Indeed. You can use lots of different places, LinkedIn. Let's see, what are some other ones that my students are using? Oh, I know, my student, Emily, she just got a client from Threads. There are lots of different ways that you can find clients, but there might not always be opportunities in Facebook groups that you see. You might not see any good opportunities on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. Sometimes those platforms like Upwork and those platforms essentially connect business owners who are hiring to freelancers. And sometimes those business owners are looking for a lot of work for little pay. And so you do have to sift through there and make sure that the opportunity is something that like they're going to actually pay you what you're, charging. And I do have students who find good clients through those platforms. I know Alyssa was one who had a client like $700 a month for her package, and she got them from Upwork. But here is something. So I do have my hire form. So I give my students leads. What that means is I have a form on my website where it's like, Emily, I want a Pinterest manager. Give me one of your Pinterest managers. So people fill out a form on my website. They're looking to hire, and I give those business owners to my students. And it will say like what their budget is, what services they're looking for, their contact, what date they want to hire you by. So I give my students that. I don't have control over that though. So it ebbs and flows. I can't tell you how often leads are going to come through. I can tell you it does consistently get filled out every month, but it ebbs and flows. The piece of this, getting the right client load, making sure that you're hitting your income goals and you're actually getting clients. There truly is like a no fail way. And that's what I call the no excuse paid to pitch. In my academy, I have an entire module on how to essentially pitch to business owners. This is not icky, it's not salesy, it's not sleazy. It is teaching from a place of authenticity and reaching out to these business owners because you're excited to work with them. And it was kind of like I was telling you with that health and wellness, like, low tox, like living person I told you about. I love her brand. And when I saw she wasn't on Pinterest, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I could help her so much on Pinterest. And so when I read, if I were not, but if I were to reach out to her, it would be from a place of like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe you're not taking this opportunity. It's not some copy and pasted email. I'm telling her, hey, I love your brand. I'm trying to like live, a less like toxic life in terms of like products and things I use. I think your business is so great. And just explaining why I love her business. And then I'm like, you know what? Like Pinterest is amazing. Here is X, Y, and Z about why you should use it for your business. And then essentially being like, would you like to learn more? And so I teach my students, I give them an email template. Of course, they take it and use it and make it theirs. But I also even give them a personalized document that they can tailor to the person they're reaching out to. And what that does when you can reach out to somebody and make it personalized, they're really like painting this picture in terms of what Pinterest could do for their business. And they're actually using numbers to kind of be like, you could make this much more money if you use Pinterest. And so they're getting responses and they're getting clients from pitching. So I go, like I said, there's an entire module in my academy about this because this is your no fail plan. I tell my students, it's not if you get a client, it's when. It might take a month or two, it might take 3 or 4 months, you will get a client. But you have to, like, let's think about this reasonably. It might take you 3 or 4 months to get your first client. But then when my students get that first client, something switches in them. It's like this confidence, this newfound sense of like courage. And they're like, heck yes, I can do this. And then their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth client comes so much easier. And, think about that. Yes, in that 3 to 4 months where you're trying to get that first client, or maybe even the first 2 months, it might be uncomfortable and you'll be like, when is that first client going to come? But just think about this in our lives. Is 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4 months of discomfort, is that much time? No. And the thing is like that's building yourself as a business because guess what? Like business isn't easy. So it's kind of thickening your skin a little bit too. Like that's part of it. And so when you think about your life in the grand scheme of things, is 3 to 4 months of discomfort and while you wait and you're trying to get that first client, is it that big of a deal when you think about that this is a new career and this could literally change your life? No. So it is, am I saying that it's easy to get rejection or feel like you're spinning your wheels? No, that's not easy. But I try to tell my students too, Annie worked her little booty off and she was pitching to people and she wasn't getting clients. And then that work she was doing, it almost like snowballed. And those people that were like, not right now, not right now, multiple of them came back over the fall. She had talked to some of them in the spring, and by the fall, she got like 3 clients within the span of like a week and a half. And so that effort she was putting in, it wasn't for nothing. It just sometimes it takes time to build, right? But other people do. Then I have people who get a client in like 2 weeks, and I am like, I literally have no idea how you did that. So that's what I mean about everybody's journey just looks different. And when you're thinking about this, I'm moving on to this other side. I'm gonna get going here, I know. We're gonna wrap this up, so just hang with me for like 5 more minutes. The next piece of getting the right client load though is because obviously in order to get to your goals, like you will need more than one client, right? And you want to have more than one client too, because think about it, it's different. Of course you're offering the same like services to everybody, but at the same time, like it's kind of like having multiple streams of income. So if you do lose one client, guess what? There's always more. So it's not like you're going from like you built 5 clients and then every month you're starting back over at 0. Oh, I haven't mentioned this. With Pinterest management, a lot of your packages are going to be based on retainer. So once you get that client, it's not like every month you're starting back over at 0. Some of my clients I literally worked with for like 3 years, which is incredible. And so I say 3 years, and it's not that long, but one of the reasons why some of my relationships ended was because I was really starting to focus more on my coaching and my academy students. But like my client Shannon, we're going on like year 4. So I kept some of them I had to let go of, just because I was starting to focus more on certain services too. Like I was starting to focus more like on Pinterest ads. But part of getting the right client load, managing multiple accounts, and having this consistency is you do need to have systems. So that was one thing I didn't really know how to manage with my business in the beginning, like how to manage multiple accounts, how to be organized. You want to create this amazing experience where like you onboard them and like you're taking charge, like you're running the show here. And they want to be confident in that. So you need to have systems in place, and that's going to create a really good client experience. And so I do teach my students that, and that's part of, managing multiple accounts. So this side of the triangle, let's go back to the stoplight, red, yellow, or green with getting clients, managing them, creating the portfolio, pitching, finding them. How do you feel about that? I'm going to give you a second to put that in the chat. Red, yellow, or green? Green, yellow. I used to do It Works, and I had to hit up everyone in their mama and all knows until you get that one. Yes, yes, Courtney. I want to mention too, when you're thinking about pitching to people too, like in terms of Pinterest, like you think about like reaching out to like friends and family and stuff like that. A lot of people, probably don't have a business where they would be like needing to put it on Pinterest. So the beauty of it is too, is like if you do, and there's other ways to find clients apart from just cold pitching. However, if you are cold pitching, guess what? These people you're pitching to, you don't know them. You might like their business, but if they don't respond to your email, guess what? You won't die. That's the other thing too. It's like I'm not telling you to like reach out to like your aunt. And no, if you have an aunt who has a business and you want to, that's fine. But like you're not having to like push this on like friends and family. So like if you don't want to, ask people like, do you want me to work on your Pinterest? Like, like I said, a lot of people they don't have a business, so there's nothing to market anyways. So you're reaching out to these people that like you'll never talk to again if they say no or they don't respond to your emails, right? Um, Green, I'm trying anything at this point. Yellow, orange, I'm in between red and yellow. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the last piece here, we're going to wrap this up. No one's left behind. So I truly believe that, my framework, the reason why it's working for my students is because truly what makes the Academy so unique is this personalized coaching. It is not just another course. I don't even call it a course, I call it a program because it's a multiple month coaching program and it's high level where, you're getting this personalized support. Sometimes I create a Loom video if my students can't figure something out and they need to see it on my screen. Um, Sometimes I respond through a voice message if I need to talk through something with them. I type out responses. Like I said, I audit their portfolios, I give them feedback. I also help them, like if something comes up with a client and they're not sure how to handle it, my job is not done once you start getting clients. A lot of times my students have even more questions during the academy once they start getting clients. And that's one of the reasons why my academy is multiple months. There's 2 different options. There's a 6-month option and there's a 9-month. They're the exact same. in terms of like the coach and everything. One's just a little bit longer. It does come down to like payment options too. One is a lower monthly payment if you do 9 months, but I digress. The reason why I'm sharing this is that, you know, it might take you 2 or 3 months to get that first client, but if you're in a 6 month program or a 9 month program, you still have multiple months to get, questions asked and support, because I truly think that as you start working with clients, like, you're going to have more questions. And so that's why that coaching piece is so important. And like, who better to coach and support you than somebody who has literally done this for 5+ years, right? So, that personalized piece makes all the difference in the world. And if you are one, something else that makes it unique with like No One's Left Behind, if you're one who's like, I need a very, like, I want to do this as fast as possible in terms of getting my first client, and you like having like kind of like a checklist, I do have a 6 week fast action plan. And that kind of tells you like what you need to get done if you want to take the fastest route. This is something that is self-paced. So even though you're getting that coaching, you don't have to do a certain amount of like, lessons in one day or like trainings in one day. You truly can go at your own pace. And then, of course, you're getting that community, weekly accountability, coaching calls. And this is what's going to help unstick you so that if you feel like you're getting stuck, you have that support. So, okay. I am like in the next 5 minutes here. Let's see here. Oh, I have somebody. So sorry, Mary, I'm going to put you on mute. Okay, so let me move this down here. All right, I want to walk you through a few different things before I wrap this up, just so you have a little bit more information. A very typical introductory package for a Pinterest manager ranges from $450 to $700. I already shared this, but when you're thinking about this in terms of like hitting your income goals and how much you want to be making, if you had 5 clients at $450, you'd be making $2,200 a month. So this is what Courtney was making just her 4th month. So March of 2024, she was at $2,200 a month, and she'd only been in the academy for 4 months. So if you landed 5 clients at $600 a month, that'd be $3,000. And if you landed 5 clients at $1,000, you'd be making $5,000. Now, I know some of you want to make way more than that, and you're like, wait, does this mean I have to have 1 million clients? No. There are lots of different ways that you can continue to scale your business and your services, so that you don't have like 2 million clients in order to hit your income goals. And like I said, I can't teach you everything right now, but there is academy content on that and like how to continue to scale so that you're still respecting those part-time hours and, hitting your income goals too. So when you're thinking about this, what is going to make this quick and easy? There are 2 things that are not necessary in order to win the Pinterest management game. You don't need a formal degree in marketing or business, and you don't need special prerequisite skills. So when you're thinking about this, I want you to think about, how passionate are you about changing your current reality? Do you feel pretty excited? Or do you feel like, I kind of want to stay where I am? You showed up because you're ready for more. You want results, and probably pretty quickly. And deep down, I think you want to change in a transformation. You're not here to just, spend almost an hour and a half of your time for no reason, right? So it's your time. I have an important question for you. Do you feel hopeful? I would love for you to put that in the chat. Do you feel hopeful? And for some of you, maybe this has also told you, like, maybe this isn't a good fit. I know that sounds crazy for me to say, but I am truly about helping people find something that's going to be the best fit for them. This is only rewarding for me if I help people experience that transformation they're looking for. So remember, nothing I've shared here is theory. It's what I've literally done to change my life, and it's positively impacting other women and moms. And I have had a few men even inside my academy. So as you can see here, I could continue to share wins inside my academy, but I think you get the point. It works if you work it. So you've got 2 options. You can try to figure this out alone, but this is not a surprise. You already know that I have my academy, which is the education, skills training, coaching, mentoring, and of course, everything I've learned over the years boiled down into one incredible academy. It's literally everything you need to be successful at this career, and it's broken down step by step. And I've had a lot of people share that they really appreciate the way that I break down content and teach it, because Before I taught second grade, I actually taught kindergarten. So I take, pride in being able to take concepts and break them down. And my academy, it does start off very basic, but it moves into considerable depth because I want you to not just feel like you understand this, but I want you to finish the academy feeling like you are an expert. And it has just been so cool to see how much some of my students have transformed in like a matter of 6 months. And some of them are hitting income goals that like took me a few years to accomplish. And that's what it's all about for me. So, what makes this unique? It is literally anything but a course, okay? So, it's education, it's coaching, it's everything you need in order to start and succeed at this business model in the shortest amount of time possible. So it's really like the path of least resistance and getting my support every step of the way. So I'm not going to go through this framework, but I think that you probably have a pretty good idea if this is something that you're interested in or not. So I want to give you a couple of fast facts before we part ways here. So you don't have to wait a specific amount of time before you get your first client. I know I mentioned that my academy is multiple months. It's one of those things because it is self-paced. As long as you go through the training, you get your portfolio done. There are some like foundational things you're going to need to get done before you can start working with clients. But I have some students get their portfolio done like the first week they're in the academy. However, people are investing different amounts of time. Most of my students report spending anywhere from 1 hour a day to as much as 3 hours a day working on their business. Now, I have some students who might spend 5 hours a day, especially if they don't have a job right now. So it kind of looks different. And that ultimately does impact how quickly you get that first client. So I have some students get on discovery calls and land a client within 4 weeks, and some it takes more like 8 to 12 weeks. So the academy has proven results. However, it's completely you get out of it what you put into it. If you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. This isn't being done for you. You are given the education, the support is being offered, truly everything, but you have to take advantage of that. That's why at the very beginning with Annie, her being like, this is all because of you, Emily. Like, I'm like, it's actually not. I'm like, that would be cool if I could do that for people, but I can't. I can give you everything you need, but you have to apply it, right? And you even have to take advantage of the coaching that's being given to you. So I've had, and when you're thinking about scaling, I've had as many as 18 clients at once. That was a lot. And that was also with me working part-time hours. However, when you're thinking about scaling academy content and really getting to these, dream results, I do share how to scale and, get behind, go beyond that 5 client mark maybe, or that 5K mark. But like I said, it goes back to like you get out of this what you put into it. So I asked if you guys felt hopeful. Oh, Lori said, is the idea that you graduate out of the academy or is the academy a long-term thing? Lori, that is such a great question. So I did mention the 6 or 9 months. I have some students who are like, this was such a great experience. Like, thank you so much. And they're done. And it's like they spread their little wings and they leave the nest. And then I have other students who are like, this is so great. Like, I want continued coaching. I know I still have questions like Whitney. She has multiple clients, but she just wanted to continue coaching because she's like, I just want to still be able to like ask you questions. So I don't want people to feel like they have to, but if you want to, there is an option, Lori. So I don't want you to think you're being kicked out, but I also don't want you to feel like you have to stay in either. So yes, 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 very definitely cool. Let's see. So the next thing I'm going to share with you is one of the last slides. And this is like the tough love part. I say this with so much love and kindness in my heart, but me being like, I would rather you be like, you know what? Emily did not sugarcoat anything. She gave it to me straight. I understood this up front and I respect her for that. And even if it comes off a little bit blunt, that's okay. I'd rather you feel like I gave it to you straight. So this is essentially like my anti-guarantee, which I know sounds crazy. I am going to show you in the academy my proprietary processes for marketing on Pinterest and managing accounts. When you enroll in the academy, you are getting access to everything. And it's literally everything I use that took me years to create. And not only that, but you're also getting my daily coaching. So part of the reason for the academy, this isn't just your average course. And honestly, it's not just your average investment either. It is a larger investment. And I stand behind that because I know it is worth so much more than what I'm charging people. And I don't say that to sound cocky, but I just know that I've invested in business coaching, and the business coaching I invested in is no less than $1,000 a month. That was actually the first coaching program I invested in, was $6,000 total, $1,000 a month. So I know that, this is unique, and it's not $1,000 a month, spoiler alert, but I know I'm giving my students a lot. And because it takes a lot of my time, I want there to be that mutual exchange of energy. So back to this though, I'm giving you everything. So as a result, all sales are final. So if you're the type of student that needs a guarantee, then you aren't the type of student I want to work with. And I don't say that to sound harsh, but I'm looking for people who are like, I am 100% Emily. So I want motivated self-starters that can take instructions and who aren't looking for a way out before they even enroll in the academy. So if you aren't serious, that's okay. You don't have to enroll. But if you are, I think that these examples, are going to inspire you. I'm not going to read all of these testimonials. There's a lot. I could keep scrolling. And it just goes to show you that like this works. Okay. Terry's review here is so sweet. Like I said, I'm literally just like clicking through all of these. So let me know if you would like to read each one. I would be happy to send you these I want to share. Like I mentioned, I do have my hire form. So the Academy is essentially my one-stop shop for creating a successful Pinterest management business. And right now, it says 9 students. I don't have 9 spots available right now. I actually have 5. So I've already had a few people enroll in the Academy in January. So spots are already dwindling. But I wanted to share with you the next steps. So I am going to stop sharing my screen here for a second, because in terms of the next steps, if you are interested in the Academy, I would love to give you a link to book an application call with me. So I am sure the $1,000,000 question is, how much is this? So the Academy is, let me see here. The next best step is to book an application call. If you are like, I don't need an application call, I already know, Emily, I 100% want one of those 5 spots, I would be happy for you to email me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my email in here. And if you're like, I want direct enrollment, I already know I want to do this, then you can do that. I'm also going to put the link to book an application call with me. So this is multiple months of coaching. And with that, there's 2 different options. There's a pay in full, but there's also a payment plan. So I mentioned too that depending on what payment plan works for you, I love to work with people. So there was originally a payment plan of $497. So $497 a month for 6 months. However, some people were like, oh, I want to do this, but that's just like a little bit more than I can swing. And that's where the 9-month option was born. So if you feel like the $497 is a little bit more than you feel like you can do right now, there is a $333. So $333 for 9 months. And you just get more coaching. And there's no like interest built in there. It just brings a monthly payment down. So if you are like, this is a big investment, I see that, I feel that, I get that. It is. But like I said, I have some students make the full investment back in 1 month, so I know, like I said, it's worth so much more than that. Annie shared how this has literally changed her life. So I feel really good about that, but I understand too, like wanting to be 100%, and I respect that. So I'm going to share an application link. And if you want to apply and you're like, I want to talk to you, Emily, before I want to do this, and I want to get a little bit more information, I want to personally talk to you, I respect that. I'm going to share the application link now. What I want to share though, if you book a call, I just ask that you show up for the call, and you respect my time. I will respect yours, and I promise to show up for the call, obviously. But if you take a time on my calendar, I don't have unlimited availability, obviously, on a daily basis. And so if you take that time slot, I just ask that you show up, because you're taking that time from somebody else if you book that call. So like I shared too, I do have 5 spots. I know that slide said 9. I forgot to update that. But I have had 4 students already enroll this month. And so I wanted to mention that. So it is something where there's not unlimited availability because of that coaching piece. It takes a lot of my time to answer questions, support students. And with that, I don't feel like I have unlimited spots, right? So what that looks like is, as I have students finish up their coaching, I feel like I have the capacity to take on new students, right? So depending on where people are, some people decide to continue on with coaching, others finish up. That, kind of changes the availability inside the academy. So I wanted to mention, I kind of shared the payment plan for 6 months and 9 months, but you do get a price break if you were to pay in full. So if you pay for the full 6 months up front, you essentially get like 1 month free. So if you wanted to do that, that is an option as well. And that's the only option that really like gives you a quote like discount. And I will say too, because of the coaching, this isn't anything that like is ever on sale or anything like that, because it literally takes me, and I've talked to my husband about this actually, it literally takes me a few hours, multiple hours a day just to support my coaching students because, I'm reading email pitches they're sending to clients, I'm giving them portfolio feedback. It's not this surface level fluff. It's, you're getting business coaching. So, I wanted to share that. Um, Hope that helps, Lori. Um, yes, just looking at some questions here. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna try to scroll through the chat and make sure I don't have any. The only thing is I'm like, I'll save questions until the end. I'll try to go back. I hope I'm trying to scroll through the chat and make sure. So if you have questions that you didn't get answered and you want to re-ask them, I am kind of scrolling through the chat right now. I know that this went like way long. Well, I said 90 minutes. It's just a smidge over 90 minutes. Um, Oh, I didn't even realize we have a Georgiana here. I love that. My youngest daughter's name is Georgette. Kind of similar. You don't hear that very much. Let's see. Oh, Lori said self-doubt is a robber of happiness, and I struggle with this constantly. It is, that is hard. Um, Oh, Ariana said, I appreciate the realistic standing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you appreciated that. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat here. I wish I could stay up to date with everything on the chat. If you can't see, there was a lot for me to cover. Let's see here. Trying to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Um, I said like you can re-ask your question. I apologize if you like forgot what your question was because you asked it like an hour ago. Um, let's see. I gotta run and put the kids to bed. I'll find out your form. Thanks so much, Emily. You're welcome, Lori. Deanna, how structured is the program? Deanna, can you expand on that a little bit? What do you mean by like how structured? There are like multiple modules, but each module is like module one, module two, module three for a reason, because it's really what I want you to like go through like the steps, if that makes sense. So like, the first module is like how to market on Pinterest so that you build that foundational knowledge. And then step two, it's like, let's get to it. Let's get your portfolio done. These are your packages. This is how you're going to find clients. And like, it kind of walks you through like the steps I would take, like in order, to get your first client, start working with them. So, and like I said, in terms of like the structure too, from the time you enroll, I actually send students like an onboarding slash like welcome email. It tells you exactly what you need to do in order to get started. And I really try to make everything step by step so that it's not ambiguous or you get like stuck and you're like, what do I do now? I want you to keep moving forward and like, okay, I got this done. Now this is what I need to do next. Um, Let's see. Let me know, Deanna, if that helps at all, or if like you want to expand on that a little bit, if that didn't answer your question. Marilee, and I am so sorry if I am pronouncing any of your names wrong. That I cannot stand mispronouncing people's names. Um, Marilee, will there be emails when Academy opens again if ever we don't get in right now? Yes, of course. So I will say, so I like it ebbs and flows month to month. Certain months I feel like I have more capacity than others, but yes, there is an option for that. And let's see, Jen, so it's recorded videos and coaching via, Jen, that is a great question. Okay, so all of the education part in terms of like learning the skills, putting together the portfolio, finding clients, running a discovery call. And if some of you are like, Oh, I'm kind of like introverted. I'm nervous about a discovery call. I will say that even my most introverted students, I know that I teach everything so structured and like I literally tell you how to run the discovery call, what you talk about with clients, potential clients. But I actually even do a mock discovery call so you can watch me and one of my brave students who did a discovery call with me. So everything is like very tangible. So you're not like, wait, how do I do that though? That is exactly what I don't want you to feel like that ambiguous, like, I don't really know though. So I want you to like, it's almost like like I do, we do, you do. So it's like, you see me do it, we can do it together, and then you go and do it, right? So the teacher and me, like I said, so the trainings are recorded, Jen. Totally can watch them and learn them, go at your own pace. In terms of the coaching, there's two things. There is a weekly Zoom call. It is recorded. So Jen, if you miss the call, like let's say it wasn't convenient for you, you can pre-submit your questions. You can be like, "Hey Emily," in our coaching channel and be like, "I can't come today. Can you answer X, Y, and Z?" And then I record the call and all of the coaching calls are uploaded inside the academy. So if you enroll, you will see coaching calls dated back to like February of 2023. Now with the daily coaching, Jen, I don't like Facebook groups. Even Facebook groups are based on an algorithm, and I don't appreciate that because that sounded so like rude. I didn't appreciate that. But I don't like that because if your question doesn't get engagement, it kind of gets buried. Whereas I use a app called Slack, and with Slack, everything is chronological. So if Hannah asks a question at 9 p.m., then like, it goes like in order. And what that allows me to do is make sure that I personally answer every single question and the algorithm isn't bearing some people's questions. So not a fan of Facebook. It's all in Slack. If you were to enroll, you don't have to pay for Slack or anything like that. It's a free platform, but you can get it on your phone and then you can also get Slack on your desktop. So you can open it wherever it's convenient for you. And then you can also send me voice memos in Slack. So if you, like I know one of my students, Whitney, it's much easier because she's always like, juggling being a mom and doing the academy. And she's like, I don't have time to type this out. I'm just going to send you a voice memo. I'm like, totally fine. So that part's nice. So hopefully, Jen, that kind of gives you an idea a little bit more about the coaching. Deanna, yes, thank you. That does help. Oh, good. I'm glad that helped. I felt like now I feel like my brains are kind of mush. So it's like, I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Um, Marilee said he pronounced my name just fine. Oh, good. Courtney said, I have to go to bed, gym at 5 a.m. Thanks, Emily. You're so welcome, Courtney. Good for you, Courtney. That's what I would do when I was teaching. I would get up at like 4 in the morning and I had to like do that in order to actually like, if I wanted to exercise. Um, Yes, Kim, you're exactly right. You mentioned the pricing. Slack is way better than Facebook. Yes, Lily. Oh my goodness. I love Slack. And I just like too how if somebody messages back, like it has like threads and it just keeps everything like so nice and neat and organized. Whereas I used to use Facebook for another program I had. And I felt like it was just kind of like disorganized and I would miss people's questions. And it's like with the academy, like you are investing in my feedback and support. You don't want your question missed, right? So for me, it's easier to keep the communication there and also, like I said, make sure I'm not missing anybody's questions because I have invested in things before that have like quote coaching and it was in a Facebook group. And one of my biggest pain points, and it's like nobody wants to be a complainer, but when you're investing in something, if nobody answers your questions, like it doesn't feel good. Like it doesn't make you feel like your success is important to people, right? And like you want to feel seen and like whether you need your feelings validated or whether you have a very important question about a discovery call, like that, that's part of it. So, Jen said, great, thanks. I'm glad you like that, Lily. So, okay, I am going to share that link. One more time if you want to book an application call. If you're like, Emily, heck yes, I'm gonna enroll. You can shoot me an email and just be like, I know I want to enroll. Emily, can I snag one of those 5 spots? You can send me an email. I cannot thank you enough for taking time, and there are still 30 of you here, Thank you so much for learning more tonight and spending your evening with me. I hope whether this be a yes or a no for you, that it just gave you the clarity you need to decide if this is something you want to do. And even if it's no, that it helps you get closer to the thing that will be a good fit for you. Um, let's see. Oh, let's see. Amanda said if I don't get in these 5 slots for the academy, fills up or can't afford it at this time, which items in the Pinterest resources shop would be a great tool for someone interested in Pinterest? Ooh, that's a good question, Amanda. Okay, so those are kind of like bits and pieces of like the Pinterest puzzle. So like I have the Pinterest SEO expert workshop. So that like teaches you like just how to do keyword research. If I'm being totally honest, Amanda, I because all of those bits and pieces of even like those smaller products are like encompassed in so much more inside the academy. I feel like if you really want to do it, Amanda, that I almost feel like it'd be better to like save up for the academy. Now, I will say, Amanda, one other thing you could do. I do have people enroll in the Pinterest pin design basics training, and that is very tailored to people learning how to design a pin, which is definitely a big piece of being a Pinterest manager. Not even close to being the full picture, right? It's one thing, designing a pin. However, I do think it helps people get, even more acclimated with the work. And what I've done, Amanda, is if people have taken the Pinterest pin design basics training, if they take that and then they ultimately enroll in the academy, what I've done, Amanda, is just like refunded them for that when they enroll in the academy, if that makes sense. So if they take that and they're like, this is great, but now I'm going to enroll in the academy, I've just offered them a refund so that because that is included in like way more. Now I've offered that for the Pinterest pin design basics. I haven't done that for some of my other resources in the shop because they're really tailored more for business owners who are like DIYing their Pinterest strategy, and not necessarily so much for Pinterest managers, if that makes sense. Um, let's see, Sky, or let's see. Any advice for someone who may not be financially ready to invest the 333 or 400 some? Could I do it in the what could I do in the meantime? Should I look more into your YouTube? Yeah, Sky, definitely check out my YouTube. Tons of information there. I actually just recorded, I had a baby in October and I'm like trying to get back into the swing of being consistent on YouTube, but I love YouTube just because I love helping people and I love teaching. And so that's a great resource. And I just recorded a episode today, but I have to send it to my video editor. So if it looks like I haven't done an episode in a couple of weeks, I haven't, but I recorded one today and I'm kind of slowly getting back into like the swing of things and being consistent because I was so good for like 2 years about releasing a new episode every week. And then I had to go and have a baby. So I kind of got out of the swing of things, but like I said, I'm getting back into it. I prioritize my coaching students, and that was like not something I really like took a break from at all. Because I have people who are already in the program. And so like other things I had to hit pause on, but the people who are investing in my coaching are getting what they invested in, right? They're getting that coaching support. So um hopefully that makes sense. Um I teach myself a lot, but anything I could go out and learn myself or do, I am willing. That's amazing, Sky. Let's see. How much is it to join the academy? Tony, there's a few different options. I shared that the 6 months, if you do 6 months, it's $497 a month. For 6 months, it's a payment plan. Or if you wanted to do 9 months and spread out the payment, there's no additional interest. It's 9 months at $333. So for those of you who are like, I want a lower payment plan and I would love just even more time in the coaching channel, then it's 9 months of $333. And then lastly, Tony, I shared this. I don't think I like gave the specific price, but I did share that you get a price discount. If you just pay in full, you get like 1 month free, 1 month free. I'm not joking when I say that. By the end of the evening, my brains are fried. I'm sorry. So if you do the 6 months pay in full, it's one payment of $2,500. So if you were to do the math with the 6 month or the 9 month, those payment plans, they're the same in terms of price, but that one payment, you get like 1 month free, if that makes sense. So it's just a one-time payment of $2,500. So Okay. Alrighty, friends. I'm seeing questions slow down here. I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope everybody has but thank you so much, Emily. This has really helped me put things into perspective for me. Also, sorry for coming in late. I got the time wrong. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Annalie. I will send the replay, Annalie, too, if you want to watch that. Thank you, Georgiana. Thank you so much. I enjoyed every minute. Oh, Mary Lee, you're so welcome. I hope everybody has a beautiful evening, that if you're going to bed, you get a good night's sleep. An evening well spent. You're so welcome, Ariana. I'm so glad you felt like it was a good use of your time. That means everything to me. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope everybody, like I said, has a beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'll talk to all of you later. Bye, friends.